Simply summarizing, the theme of my photography so far would be images viewed as information. My work overall has been driven by current events, politics, and the general theme of change and how it's represented, working towards a new methodology for capturing and disseminating photographies outside of exclusively mechanical means. In Positions in Practice, a key reference was John Baldessari, who stated, "Try to look between things instead of at things." This was an important step in my development of the work in progress portfolio, as I decided to work locally in areas I have lived in my whole life. Exploring and exposing my surroundings for a specific purpose necessitated a new approach at contextualizing my surroundings. As the theme of Canadian landscapes entered the collaboration and professional locations module, this project found itself entering a political conversation regarding an extremely topical theme that was playing out in real time as I was developing the imagery. In the next module, Informing Context, I started to really explore the possibilities of employing non-mechanical capture strategies to visualize the themes I previously explored in collaboration and professional locations. The work created was inspired by the surrealist automatism methodology used by Corinne Vianette and Jason Salavon. Informing Context focused on completely non-mechanical photography. In Sustainable Strategies, I wanted to explore a methodology where the mechanical and non-mechanical photography were combined. In Agents of Change, I took a step back from my previously theme surrounding the Greenbelt and widened the scope of my work to include anything resulting in the portrayal of change through the prism of discovered artificial constructs. An important realization I have had while working through this program is that I cannot structure my work to resemble the work of my current or graduated peers. I do not see my future in photography in detailing specifically intimate stories of my life, or chronicling the actions of political discourse to fill a gallery or a book. My pursuit of the MA is for a future in research and innovation. Using my previous modules as a framework as to what methodologies resonate, I realized a more broad theme works well for me. My methodology in Sustainable Strategies and Positions in Practice was much more diverse to work with than the other modules. Not having to shoehorn concepts into a rigid format makes for presentation of work that is a bit more experimental possible. Mario Klingman is considered to be a pioneer in the field of neural networks, codes, and algorithms. His projects are long form and deal with training and learning technology in a creative field. This is on display with the project called Circuit Training, where he has created a gallery that is designed to train his algorithms with human interaction, understanding the necessity for AI developed algorithms to create images with the intent for humans to enjoy them. I have worked with some GAN-based systems and have been trying new software as I understand how to communicate with these systems. With Informing Context, I use DALL-E 2, which is an image generator that works best with simple commands. In Sustainable Strategies, I worked with Runaway, which worked better with formula-based text prompts alongside a supplied image. In my FMP, I will turn to Midjourney, which is a much more complex textual input resembling code instead of text. While my skill set does not lend to programming or network design, my skill set as a photographer and a communicator is what I would like these adversarial networks to learn from. Understanding how to curate and disseminate accurate prompts will be an important part of me communicating with these networks so they can fulfill the tasks delivered to them. Outside of the actual textual generation of these images, I would also like to have a through line of my work that attempts to disseminate decisions made by the networks that are unprompted. Things like why in certain images the network decides to illegibly sign the images in the bottom right-hand corner without prompt. Is there an understanding by the network that it is co-author? Why is the metadata not enough? The AI-generated nude portraits developed by Robbie Barat tease the idea that an untrained network is truthfully how the AI and GAN systems see humans. That when trained, the systems show us what we as humans want to see and not what the network's interpretation of the request is. My goal with the project is to influence the systems to produce what I want, but will not eliminate the touches of obscurity that the system invokes on the image. While working with Runaway AI, I could generate 4 iterations on my one image based on the textual input. These 4 images, combined with the source image, are manually assembled in Photoshop, keeping the previously mentioned network obscurity intact in the images. The goal being to not revoke the system's ownership on the image and establish the work as a collaboration between myself and the network. A pitfall I'm looking to avoid is using a GAN to enhance the picturesque. Through my research, I found that the networks need to be used like Photoshop filters. They can affect the image overall, but they need thematic purpose. Using poor imagery to fit the narrative in my earlier projects blends well with the way the GAN works, while still referencing the picturesque in the textual input. The success of this work remains tied to the statement I explored in Informing Context made by Jason Salavon in his book Brainstem Still Life, listed here. Having images legible as a gestalt is an essential point when creating images viewed as information. The execution of my practice overall has had a very low impact regarding sustainability, as there are not many resources being used in the dissemination of the images. When collecting images previously, I relied on a bike as my only method of transportation, and the camera technology for the entirety of the MA have all been from Borrowed Resource Center, limiting my carbon footprint, single-use resources, and single-owner technology. However, there is an aspect of this project I have not looked into regarding sustainability. That is that the networks I am using to manipulate the source photography require a lot of energy to run. Through this project, I'll be investigating how much energy exactly, and any methods to offset that energy use. As this project is primarily a research project, I am not overly engaged with where the completed project will be displayed in a public forum. Nevertheless, I am currently organizing an outdoor location downtown in Toronto, Canada, where I can wheat paste the images to the side of a building. This installation would be a part of the Toronto-wide Contact Photo Festival taking place on May 1st to 31st, 2024. While I'm not completely clear on what the specific theme of my project going forward will be, there will be some consistent ideas that have been present in my work throughout the MA outside of working with GAN systems. The images will have elements of surrealism and dadaism, as my work has throughout the program. Like the image presented here, my FMP will include a return to the studio. Through my research, there is not a lot of people experimenting with still life, GANs, and studio photography. While I think it is going to take some shoot time to decipher how this will all fit together, I am confident in the method established by Stephen Gill, where he states that there is an unstoppable belief that a project will sooner or later, inevitably, come together.